Next, I get the joy of introducing Ray Greenberg. Ray, who was Dr. Edwards' successor at the Medical University as its president, essentially has done a wonderful job in terms of providing his vitality, his training, and basically his love into that institution, and has grown it into about $1.5 billion a year operation, which essentially has provided a real vitality. It is also cutting-edge medical care. I know, having been through there a number of times and had members of my family be there, that they really are there, working hard, right at the edge of medicine, and able to give us the kind of care that most places you really cannot find. Ray, would you like to come forward and we'll do the next...
Thank you, Robin. I have the privilege of saying a few words about our second couple being honored today, but before I do that, all three couples have played a very, very important role at the Medical University. The Ewitts, Laura has chaired the Storm Eye Institute Board, and Bill is former chair of what was then the Health Science Foundation Board, member of our Board of Trustees. Jerry, as was said, is on our Research Foundation Board. Anita chairs the MUSC Foundation. Of course, Jim and Ann, former president and first lady. So I feel like this is MUSC lunch day. But they, as is so evident, have contributed to virtually every community organization. We're just one of many that have benefited from all three couples' participation. I noticed that Robin described Jim as me as his successor. He didn't say that I was taking Jim's place, because it wouldn't be true that I was taking Jim's place. Nobody could take Jim Edwards' place as president of the Medical University. I had the privilege of working for Jim for 5 years as his provost, and it was truly an educational experience for me. I learned so much about the job and about life by watching Jim Edwards and how he conducted himself in his work. It's almost unnecessary to give a biographical sketch of the Edwards, because they are so well known and loved not only in this community but in the state of South Carolina and beyond. Of course, Jim was governor of the state of South Carolina, the first Republican governor since Reconstruction in the state, so a real trendsetter and pioneer, and now the Republican Party's birth in the state of South Carolina. He went on to be, as you know, the Secretary of Energy in the Reagan administration. He was charged with responsibility of closing down the Energy Department, but as you can tell today, the Energy Department is prospering, and that's because he got there and did such wonderful things for the department. But then, in my opinion, his most important work was when he came back to Charleston in 1982 to become president of the Medical University. And over the 17.5 years of his leadership, really for the first time, I think, brought an expectation that we would be an institution that should compete on the global scale, that we should be world-class, in Jim's words. And I think that mandate from him really has led to growth and development of the institution, even to this day. Of course, all that being said, he couldn't have accomplished any of this without Ann Edwards' support, encouragement, and very, very capable leadership. You know, I don't know how many times during the lunch today she's leaned over to give him instructions, but I can tell you I've observed that on many occasions. And she does it so gracefully that you almost want to see it happen. But on behalf of the Medical University, on behalf of the Free Enterprise Foundation, and importantly to me personally, I want to thank Jim and Ann Edwards for their lifetime of service to this community, to the state of South Carolina, and to all of its institutions. Jim and Ann Edwards.
In case you didn't hear, he said, make sure I give it to her. You know what that means then? That means I have to give him the flowers.
I'll take this rather than flowers. Can I say one word?
Would you please?
as we were talking, I looked around this audience, and there's so many of you out here who have been a part of mine and Ann's life, and I feel like I should be giving you the award for anything that I was accomplished, because all of you out there, I won't call names because every time I do, I get in trouble, and my wife has to remind me I left 4 of them out. But I do want to tell you how much I appreciate it. And I think the vulnerability factor has sort of moved in here, and we're being accused of things that we never said and accomplishments we never accomplished. But that's the way it is when you get our age, I guess. And I would also want to thank you for including my wife, because without her, I would be nothing. Thank you very much.
I have to also tell you that it's been a glory road, and I thank you too. I look out here and I see so many of you that have helped me in the College of Nursing, and this is near and dear to my heart, and I just add my appreciation as well. Thank you.
One more thing I was about to leave out that's most important. And I don't know what I would have done without the Hewitts and the Zuckers at my side during my years at the medical university. They were just stalwarts in giving me counsel and advice and their friendship and often even their money. But I thank you publicly for what you all have done.
I next get the great honor of introducing a leader of principle. Earl Walker, who is or will be retiring as the Dean of the School of Business at the Citadel come the end of June. It has been a great pleasure for me, both in terms of inviting me to be part of the Citadel and to provide real substantial support to the operation, but to model for me and for all of us what a leader of principle is all about. Earl and that business school were meant to be together, and I have great hope for his successor. But whoever comes in here has got to understand from the start that they are standing on the shoulders of a giant. Earl has done so much in terms of being able to vitalize and really push forward, both at the graduate and the undergraduate level, the School of Business at the Citadel, that at some point here, I suspect we will be honoring him as well in a fashion somewhat similar to this. Today, he gets to bestow the honor. Earl comes from that other military academy up the Hudson, had more than 20 years of command responsibility in the United States Army, retired as a colonel, and although he pretends sometimes that he doesn't hear you, he hears everything and he sees everything. And his goodness and his care for all of us has made a great deal of difference to the institution that we are now speaking to you from. Earl has the role of honoring the Hewitts, which is a great pleasure for me to have up here. And without anything more, I think I will turn it over to Earl.
Oh, dear friends, thank you for being here to support the Free Enterprise Foundation. I'm overjoyed and humbled to be a member of the board, and we're grateful for all of your support. You have no idea how far this foundation has come, and this tribute today reinforces its values that are so central to all of us in the Low Country and at the 3 parent institutions, the College of Charleston, the Medical University of South Carolina, and at the Citadel. I'm really delighted to be able to introduce and tell you more about Laura and Bill Hewitt. They richly deserve this award, which really recognizes ethics, civic responsibilities, and so much else about the high values we all as institutions hold dear. They fulfill my ideals of principled leaders in service to others, and I think you will agree with me when I tell you a little more about them. But Bill and Laura, I'm not going on and on, because Laura, I sit next to her and she'll kick me, and then they'll say afterwards, Earl, oh, stop. Just don't go on so much. There's so much to tell about them. Laura, I'm going to start with her, has served on many boards and commissions in Charleston, all the while raising 4 children and being a grandmother to, get this, 15 grandchildren. In fact, they just got back last night from looking after grandchildren in Atlanta. She particularly loves telling stories of Bill's exploits in changing diapers. You should hear more about that. Among the many things we appreciate about Laura is luring her family back here, the city where she first met Bill as a young Coast Guard officer commanding a ship assigned to Charleston. That was in 1961. They will celebrate their 45th wedding anniversary this year. Bravo for long marriages. Since they returned in 1986, Laura has been a founding governor of the Harbor Club, is currently chair of the MUSC Storm Eye Institute. And Ray, I'm glad that you and the governor are as much fans of theirs as I am. And she's also incoming chair of the Charleston Food and Wine Festival and past chair of the Charleston Stage. She also serves on the American Red Cross Board, and in that capacity, she's as much a fan of Roberta Freres as am I. Roberta is here today. I'm also proud to say that we now have the Laura Hewitt Faculty Fellowship at the Siddle School of Business Administration. Bill Hewitt has just stepped down. I think this is his last day officially as CEO of the Polymer Group, a $1 billion manufacturing firm, and remains as its non-executive chairman. As is so much his trait, Bill selflessly took on this responsibility as CEO for 30 weeks. In fact, the joke down at our end of the table was, oh, hello, I'm Bill and I'm Laura, as they reintroduced each other after he got up so early every Monday, flew away, and maybe saw her on Saturday. Of great importance to us at the Citadel, Bill is the founding chair of the Siddle School of Business Administration Advisory Board and is now our chair emeritus. He has had an absolutely profound impact on the Siddle Business School. As my colleagues who are sitting up here at the front and further back in the audience know, he has made contributions to our school and to the Citadel beyond measure. In fact, we awarded him at the Citadel an honorary doctorate of business administration, and we're following behind you, Ray, but I'm trying to catch up because I think Ray and the governor gave Bill an honorary degree as well. Bill's past record is equally remarkable. He attended the United States Coast Guard Academy and received the Academy's Distinguished Graduate Award. I once asked him why I never saw him in Levi's. Well, it turns out that at the Coast Guard Academy, you wear Levi's in the summer, and he remembers sweating so much in the Levi's that it turned his legs blue. So he doesn't wear Levi's anymore. He earned, while he was in the Coast Guard, an MSEE, Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, from the University of Connecticut, taught electrical engineering at the Coast Guard Academy, and went on to be a founding partner of the First Manhattan Consulting Group, a premier management consulting firm serving the financial services industry. Thereafter, he became CEO of Union Corp in New York. He has done equally, as have all our honorees, a wonderful job in service to Charleston. He has been a trustee of the Medical University of South Carolina. He's immediate past chairman of the Spoleto Festival USA and past chair of the MUSC Health Sciences Foundation. He's also a senior warden at St. Michael's Church, where he spends days, I understand, greeting people at the door and cooking eggs. If I were to go on and on, I would get kicked by them both. But as you can see, their dedication, their commitment to service, their humility, and their love for others, and their commitment to higher education have been of inestimable value to this community. Please join me in congratulating Laura and Bill Hewitt for winning this award.
Laura said, why don't you say some words for me? And if anybody thinks they can speak for Laura, I know I can't, so I'm just going to say some words for me, and then she'll get her turn. We are truly honored to receive this award. I mean, I think our view together is when you are so blessed, you have an obligation really to give back, and that's all we're doing, is just trying to honor that obligation and having a lot of fun at it. We thank Robin and Errol for all the nice words, and again, I would say Jim and Ann, Jerry and Anita, we have worked with all of them, and they are certainly most deserving. We are just delighted to be in their company today. Thank you all very much.
Before I introduce our next speaker, I don't know if any of you were, the dinner was good enough you probably didn't notice, but Dr. Edwards came on over and was carrying on a conversation with Ed, and to which I was kibitzing. And they were talking about an individual that all three of us know who is known for his intellect. The point of the story was not his intellect, however. The point of the story was the trouble that this individual has now gotten himself into. And the reason he got into it was not a question of intellect, it was a question of character. And that really is at the heart of what we're all about and what this family that you all are in here is all about. You know, methinks thou can be too smart by half, but you can never have too much character. And that essentially is what we're all about. There is more than enough intellectual support for that position in that venue where it's appropriate for us to express it in that way, we will. But we also think it's important to have luncheons like this where we pay proper honor to those who, by a lifetime of service to all of us, quietly, not looking for honor, not looking for attention, just doing the work because it needs to be done in terms of the family that we all are part of. We're going to do that too. We're going to bear witness. So we certainly hope that when you will be with us next year in even growing numbers, as our people who know about us and who pay attention to what we're saying continues to grow. Now, Edwin Meese III, I've had the great honor to know now for 27 years, and am very honored to be able to call him my friend. I had a prior association with a man named Caspar Weinberger and spent time as Cap's assistant. I didn't quite understand that being assistant to Cap was a lifetime responsibility. And I had lunch with him in 1980 out in the Bohemian Club in San Francisco, and he said, Robin, he says, if I send you someone, will you put them to work? Meaning for then former Governor Reagan. I said, well, sure, Cap. Well, by the time the convention rolled around, I had 29 people working for me, all totally out of sight. And basically what we were working on, and Ed was part of this group we called a pre-transition planning group. Essentially, we were working on those papers that would be quietly used to take control of federal agencies if Governor Reagan won and be able to operate it without congressional support. There was a much more noticeable effort that was ballyhooed in terms of the formal transition effort and the wonderful work that had been done by Heritage in their mandate for leadership study. But ours were, I guess you would call, the assault papers. And I have gotten to know Ed well over the years and had also the good fortune to be able to have him participate with me in a book that I did back in '97 called Finding Our Roots, Facing Our Future, America in the 21st Century. This book's still available on Amazon, or you can buy it at the Citadel bookstore. You know, a lot of the chapters, I will tell you truthfully, were ghosted. Well, Ed showed up at my office with 3 chapters handwritten on yellow legal sheets, all done himself. That has really characterized Ed throughout his career. A number of those who served in the Reagan administration, no discredit to them, have gone on to great honor and great wealth. Ed has continued to plow the same vineyard, both as a senior fellow at Heritage and at Hoover. No pretense about him. He's quietly moving forward. He's truly respected in the conservative wing of this of those here in the country who support conservative values. And most important to me, he's my friend. I'm honored to have Ed come here today. He's also one of our founding trustees. We're really pleased to have Ed honor us today with his presence and some comments. Ed?